In this video, I am going to explain what creates suffering in the first place, how we create suffering in our life, and I will also explain how you can make meaning of this suffering and how you can overcome it to find your life of happiness and joy. I will be using a spiritual perspective to explain all of this. If you'd like to see more videos from my side where I combine human behavior with spirituality and explain different concepts so that you can practice them in your life in a practical manner, do not forget to subscribe. To be able to understand why we are suffering today, we need some context. And as I mentioned, I'm going to use spiritual background. So I will be using terms like soul, like past lives, like soul contracts, purpose of life, and so on. The first thing you need to know is that we as human beings are born with a specific purpose. So when we are souls, from that soul level, we choose what life lessons we need to learn in this life as a human being. Just like we go to school to learn our lessons, similarly, we have come as souls to this dimension on earth as human beings to learn different lessons. Now, when you are in school and you are not able to learn specific subjects properly, you have to revise those subjects when you move on to the next standard. Similarly, the lessons that you were meant to learn in this life, for whatever reason, if you could not learn those lessons, you will have to learn those lessons in the next life. And this is how our soul learns important lessons. This is growth. This is spiritual growth. So we learn a set of lessons and then we move on to the next life to learn other lessons. Our soul knows the concepts, concepts like forgiveness, like compassion, like self-love, acceptance. We know those concepts, but till the time our soul does not have practical experience of those concepts, we don't learn the wisdom of those concepts. So we have taken birth to learn the wisdom of experiences in life, and that is what you and I are doing every day, converting our concepts and understanding into practical experience, into wisdom. Now the most important part is to be able to learn lessons. We as souls have to make contracts with other souls. Now, because human beings mostly learn in social interactions, we have our life experiences in participation with other people. That is why we choose other souls so that they can participate in our lives, and that will help us learn the lessons we are choosing to learn. For example, if I have chosen to learn forgiveness in this life, I will make contracts with other souls. This is on a soul level, remember. So I will make contracts with souls so that I am in situations where I have to forgive. Now this means I am choosing to be in situations where wrong is being done to me, where I have been wronged. Only in those situations I will be able to learn what is to forgive in the real sense. And that is why I will make contracts with other souls so that they do wrong to me. Now you must be wondering that why are we doing all this? Now we do all this because when we are at a soul level, we do not think from a human perspective. We do not think from the perspective of ego and anger and all of that. We are only thinking from the perspective of love and spiritual growth. Unfortunately, when your soul takes birth in human form, we forget everything. And then we wonder, why is life happening to me the way it is happening, and why are things not working out? And then starts suffering, because we don't know why things are happening the way they are happening. Now let me give you another example. If you are a woman and if you have taken this birth to be able to feel complete as a person without needing to become a mother. Mostly women, feel like having a baby so that they feel that womanhood is complete when you become a mother. But if in this life you have chosen to love and accept yourself as a woman, as a complete person without needing to have a baby, So now two things may happen. The first thing that could happen is you would be a woman who would never want to have a baby in the first place, because you already have that love and compassion for yourself. You already find yourself complete. In that case, you don't have a child and you go on with your life purposefully. You feel that yes, you are living your life. And that is because you had chosen to learn that lesson of loving yourself without needing to be a mother, and you are following that path. Yeah? So you are in line with your path. You are aligned with your path. So you feel okay. The entire world may tell you that you need to have a baby, but you will still not be bothered about it. Now the other situation is you may actually want to conceive. Yeah. Now choosing a soul path does not mean that there is no free will. There is still free will. So you may want to conceive, but if you have difficulty conceiving and no treatment works on you, nothing ever works on you, then you will start to feel that your whole life depends upon your ability to conceive. You might start judging yourself that why am I attaching my self-worth with the ability to have a baby. You might start to feel incomplete. The day you tell yourself that I am complete as a woman and I don't need to be a mother to feel complete as a human being, that day you will start to see things falling back into place. You will start to see meaning in life. You will then understand the meaning of the suffering that you went through. The meaning of that suffering was to help you love yourself as a woman without needing to be a mother. Yeah, unconditional love and acceptance for yourself as a woman. So now after this suffering, you will feel that you are back to life, and then you will actually want to do all the things you had wanted to do that would make you happy. And now you are aligned with your soul path, because the lessons your soul had chosen to learn, you finally learned them. So it could be either of the two ways. Let me give you another example. Now this is about career. Very, very important in India. If your soul had chosen to be an artist, to express your talents in the form of art, and if you choose that career path, even if it's difficult, you will still enjoy it. Even if money is not coming in the early stages, you will still love it. You will be okay with all the struggles, all the hardships you go through in the initial stages. And eventually you will have abundance. You will be able to, express your art in beautiful ways. It will come to you in a flow, and people will be surprised by your talent. You will have enough money because you are doing what your soul had wanted to do. So it's like being rewarded with money because you listened to your soul. So these things will happen. But on the other hand, if you make a decision to make another career choice for any reason, you may start to feel slowly, you may start to feel depressed, you may start to feel sad, incomplete, you may start to feel that life is not good. I'm not enjoying life. There is no purpose in life. Yeah, it's just like, when people have come to me saying that, Ruchika, I have everything, but I feel empty, hollow inside. Very clearly, they are doing all things in life that's giving them money, security, everything, but they are not doing that one thing that their soul had chosen to do. So you have diverged from your soul path. So if your soul path was this, being an artist, you are doing this because there is free will anyway. So you have diverged from your soul path. So you will be living life in that manner, but you will not be happy. You will be happy when one day, all of a sudden you wake up thinking that I am done with this kind of a life and I am going to do the things that my heart tells me to do. I'm going to listen to my inner voice, my inner guidance. And then you take a U-turn and fall in line with your soul path. And then you find that life is amazing. So you must have seen people who leave their jobs and have a very radical change in life, extreme U-turn, and they start to really radiate that sense of happiness and peace. This is living in alignment. This is the biggest cure for suffering. This is the biggest cure for spiritual suffering, for emotional suffering. And in my perspective, if you are able to find your alignment, you will not feel depressed anymore. From a spiritual perspective, depression comes when your soul is grieving because you are not doing the things that your soul had wanted you to do. So your soul is now grieving because It's grieving the loss of purpose. So from a spiritual perspective, I find that depression is spiritual suffering. So to sum it up, being on a life path that is the same as the path that your soul had chosen before you took birth, that is called alignment. And when you are aligned with your purpose, you will be ready to accept all the struggles, hardships, judgment by the people. You will still feel extremely happy, purposeful, driven inside. But when you have diverged from that path, every small problem will start to look like a big mountain. So that is why you will see that people have very different reactions to obstacles, because when you're following your heart, your obstacles look smaller. I hope I'm making sense. So if you are suffering in life today, and that suffering could be anything, it could be relationships, difficult relationships with people, it could be suffering because you're doing everything but money is not coming in, it could be suffering in terms of career choices, in terms of just not being able to manage emotions in the first place. It could be any kind of suffering. If you're suffering in life today, you have to stop and think, what is the meaning of my suffering? What is the lesson that I have to learn from this suffering? What are the lessons that I had chosen to learn by going through all of this that I'm going through today? Maybe you will get your answers. So if you want to overcome your suffering, there are two ways to go about it. The first way is you try by yourself. You be in connect with yourself. You meditate, find connection with your own self. Listen to your inner guidance. If you are somebody who believes in angels, masters and spirit guides, you can even ask them to guide you, and they will guide you if you really ask for it. Yes. This is the first way. For people who meditate regularly, this method will be easier as compared to others who don't meditate. If you are a person who is highly intuitive, then also this might be an easy way for you. However, there will still be situations in life where you are not able to think about your problems clearly. The reason being, these problems sometimes give rise to so many emotions that we are not able to come out of those emotions. We are not able to look at our problems clearly. We are not able to understand why are we suffering and what could be the lessons. And very often, the suffering is because of the beliefs that are deep inside us, that are so deep, so subconscious, probably coming from childhood or even coming from some other life. Now, when it is so deep, it's difficult to resolve these problems by yourself. In these situations, it's better you seek help from a therapist. Now, this is a smart move because the expert is going to be a third person who is not emotionally involved with your problems. And because there are no emotional clouding, the expert will be able to see things from a very clear perspective. So having a therapist really helps. I am a psycho-spiritual therapist, and I have helped people over these many years overcome their suffering, overcome immense suffering. And I have seen people just like you and people like me experiencing a massive shift from being extremely in that painful state to a person who's joyful, happy, driven with purpose and full of inner peace. And if so many people have been able to make that journey, including me, then I have faith in you to be able to make that journey for yourself as well. Starting from making sense of your suffering, to understanding the meaning of your suffering, to understanding how to create the life you want, this form of therapy will help you make this entire journey. So if this is something that really calls out to you, then I offer my first 30-minute session absolutely free, so that we both can decide together if we can work together successfully. So what we do in this 30-minute session is we discuss your problems, we explore your problems and see what you have been experiencing. And from there, I'm able to provide you a blueprint of what steps we will be taking in therapy to help you overcome all of those problems and live in happiness. And if that makes sense to you, you are free to decide whether you would want to go ahead with the full therapy sessions or not. Absolutely no strings attached. The link to the free 30-minute consultation is in the description. So always remember, that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. When you are in that path, following the path of your soul, the amount of happiness and peace that you feel cannot be replaced by anything else. And the biggest gift I could give to myself today, and I could give to anybody else, is the ability to understand their soul path and follow it. And I hope we are able to create that together in our sessions. So thank you for watching the video, and I will see you in the next video.